Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me today in Miami, Florida, although sadly getting now towards the end of the Where's Shmee US Edition tour. Today though, I've come back out to visit We Are Curated to catch up with John Temerian to check out this, the Rambo Lambo, the Lamborghini LM002. Now I was here about 2 months ago when we went out with John in the straight-piped Ferrari Enzo, but quite a few things have changed in the showroom since then, and of course this car has done many more miles. In fact, it was virtually 0 miles when I was last here at Curated. It's now done over 7,000, ready to be parked up while I'm going to be heading off. Today though, like I said, we'll see what's going on in the showroom. We're going to take a proper look at this and go out for a drive on the roads in the world's first super SUV, the Lamborghini LM002. I think it's fair to say that without this, we would not have the Lamborghini Urus today. The LM002 was first conceived as effectively a military vehicle in the late 70s and early 80s, but in 1985 at the Brussels Auto Show, Lamborghini released this car featuring the 5.2-litre V12 from the Countach up front, a manual gearbox, dedicated tyres built for the purpose. You can even see the sandlip that they have wrapped around them, the Pirelli Scorpions, a tow winch up front, an indestructible off-roading monster featuring a Lamborghini engine, wearing the Lamborghini badge, something totally crazy. And obviously now we have so many upmarket luxury top-end SUVs like the Urus, the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, the G-Wagons, all of the different models, the Bentayga, DBX, the Ferrari coming up soon as well. The list is almost endless, but this at the time was basically the only car that did anything like that. He says, as we have a GT3 991.2 sounding fantastic with that flat 6. So this is really, well, something I've never properly been able to explore. 328 of them in total, built from 1986 through into the mid-90s. A car that is something totally unusual. So let's go head inside, go find John, have a little bit of a catch up, then we're going to be taking this on out. Hey John, how's it going?
Great, man, how are you?
Very good, good to be back, good to see you again, good to see a few new things, mixing it up in here.
A revolving showroom, sort of 80s and 90s mix, always in and out.
Absolutely. The Enzo, of course, we weren't out in last time. A lot of fun that was.
It was a blast. It was a blast. Welcome back to Miami.
Thank you. Good to be back, and also to see the chronological line of V12 Lambos you've got just over there.
It doesn't get better than that in my eyes, right?
We need to go check out that Miura as well for sure, but I think that's new. Porsche 959.
Yes, one of the lower mileage examples probably left in the world today. Very unique color. A stunning example. We've got a pending sale on that already, which is pretty exciting. Love that car, completely unique, and we've got a ton of new stuff.
Let's go for a little walk and have a look around.
Early Diablo example, 2-wheel drive. These are the first cars. I don't know if you saw the yellow 6.0. We just sold that. Recently took that on a nice test drive, so you'll see a few little bugs and whatnot on that. And then I don't know if you saw this last time. This is, I mean, let's face it, this is a car that put AMG on the map. This is one of the original 6-liter SECs. It's actually a very rare car. A lot of them, I don't know if you've seen, are the wide body examples. This is a narrow body that was ordered brand new by the original owner. He kept all of his documents, which is also, I mean, very rare of an AMG buyer in the 80s. But 6-liter, these cars were awesome. Almost 400 horsepower. Very, very rare. There's probably like 50 or 60 left in the world today.
This is beautiful. Blue and tan. It's
stunning. Do I need to say anything else? No. This is a stunning color, Tahiti blue. Miura P400. This is an early example. They're actually called thin chassis. So the first 50 or 60 cars, they were actually a thinner metal. I mean, it's
perfect. I love all the blue and tan. Dual tone interior, silver side skirts, and the wheels to match. That is a stunning. That's the dream. That's down the lines.
That's the dream. That's the dream. 350 GT, which I think you saw last time.
Yeah, I think that had just come in.
And then our assortment of Daytona, Countach, XJ220, and Bugatti EV110.
As you do. And I think what's running in the background, what's in the workshop at the moment?
That I think is an XJ220 with opening sauce.
Got a few in for services and things. Awesome. We should head out. Should we go check the LM002?
We have to. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's go. So I don't know if we talked about this, but last end of the generation, the Diablo 6.0. This is the car that Audi had their influence before the end of that generation of cars, and these cars are fabulous. The fit and finish is perfect. And then sitting next to, as you saw last time, original Mura SV, original paint interior. We're gonna finish a few details on the car. Hopefully, once the Concours d'Elegance circuits open back up, you'll see it at a preservation event soon.
Cool, can't wait for that. And here we are. I've got a question for you about this. LM American, Lamborghini LM American.
Yes, so what's amazing about the LM American is these were the end of the production line cars. So Lamborghini, for the last few years of LM production, for the American market, produced a car with chrome bumpers, different wheels, fuel injection, so it's similar to the Diablo engine, rockers, and different like sort of intakes and things, almost to update the model for the US market. This is probably one of the best LM examples I've ever seen in my entire life. Maybe one of the best in the world. Original pearl white, red leather interior. This car actually came in with its original tires from the original owner. It had the original keychain fobs, all of its documents, books, and then this is our cover, but if you look at that cover, that's one of the original plastic seat covers from Lamborghini, 1990, 1991. It doesn't get better than this LM. So, you know, we're basically now gonna go through the car, we're leaving the paint original, we're gonna leave all the little cracks and things, but we're gonna clean it up, we're gonna do a major service, and potentially eventually show it at some point, so we'll see.
Okay, so mechanically it'll be running perfectly, but visually still quite period, which is spot on.
Exactly.
Awesome, well I think it is time to go and experience what this is like. I've never experienced one, and yeah, let's take it out.
Let's do it.
That V12 sound of the era. Spare wheel on the back, pickup flatbed, off-roading Lamborghini before the Urus, long before the Urus, I mean decades before, but obviously this is a part of Lamborghini's history. I think some people might have thought the Urus might have more connection to this as opposed to the car that it is. But this is just outright cool. In every way, this is a cool, cool, cool thing. Let me come on around then, open up the doors here. Bit like a G-Wagon. This will be the first time I've ever taken a seat on board an LM002 on the original seat covers. So, step on in. Oh, that feels quite cool, doesn't it? It feels very much like a proper military vehicle.
It feels like a military vehicle that's been wrapped in leather and wood and all these incredible luxury finishes. I don't think there's anything else like this that's ever been produced in that time. I mean, maybe today now, but it's quite absurd.
It is, and I'm looking around like speaker grills up here. The nice red roof that we have.
And that's the original Alpine radio with, I don't know if you see, this was like a dust cover.
Okay,
so in case you went off-roading, your cassette was protected.
That's quite funny. Okay, 5-speed manual.
Yep. And really, I mean, I would say they're very easy to drive with the exception of the clutch. You'll feel. Yeah. You've got to drive it today.
I would love to.
The
I would love to.
Very stiff. But besides that, they're very cool. I mean, it probably gets more attention than anything else on the road.
Some people know what it is, but most people don't. And then they look at it, and then they see a Lamborghini badge.
Yes.
And they're like, what? How's that a Lamborghini? Just looking around, 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, locking it.
Yes. And a lot of these, it's funny, if you look around, a lot of these things are similar to a Countach and Diablo. You know, the gauges, this is actually the same as a Countach shift knob. You know, this is the same as a Countach ashtray. I mean, you look around, there's a lot of shared components.
It's dogleg first?
Dogleg first, and here we go. So
with that Lambo soundtrack.
And you can see it's not terribly quick, but it sounds great.
Oh yeah. The stick is miles away from you. I noticed how far you have to reach over.
And not, you know, listen, not terribly quick, because the car is so heavy. I think they're like almost 8,000 pounds. But they are just so cool. And you know what? You could, this is not just looks, you could actually take this off-road. There's no question.
But it was built for military. It was built for serious rugged off-road driving. It's not It's not like, I mean, many modern SUVs have serious capabilities, but they're not the same. This is that kind of, you could do anything with it.
Yes, exactly.
This could take on the world.
And you know what's funny? It even has a winch that was installed at the factory. You've got your winch controls here. And they're just so, listen, this is just so cool. It so describes a period of time of 80s excessiveness. And that's what I love about this. I mean, you think of the former owners of these cars. Mike Tyson had two. There's a great story. I met Mike Tyson a few years ago, and he actually was using them once, you know, wild party night. He was like using them as bumper cars in New York City. So imagine, I mean, you know, you had Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Tina Turner had one.
Oh, really?
Yes. So I mean, this is
some serious A-list owners.
Yes, and they've got so much character.
Out of only 328 cars, so it's actually really quite impressive.
And I don't know if you saw, you could actually probably Google it, Saddam Hussein had one.
Yeah. Which
after, you know, everything that happened, the US military actually blew it up.
That's mad. And I also know that they made a one-off kind of estate station wagon for the Sultan of Brunei as well.
Yes, which is, I think it's silver, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Which instead of having the flatbed rear area, has a enclosed cabin back there. Time to swap around.
Yes, and I'll pull the massive handbrake here.
Get ready to jump out. First time jumping out of an LM002, which is obviously significantly higher off the ground. It's cool even being a passenger in this thing. Climbing on board then, I see. Park brake down there, right against the central tunnel. Okay, key in. Close the door for the moment. And then work out the pedals down here. Oh, I see, that clutch is very, very, very strong. Okay, normal start process, nothing I need to know, just
nothing you need to
turn
know.
the key and there we go. Okay, I suppose I need to give you this then, if I may.
There we go.
Get a little bit of an understanding of what we need to do in here. So, we're in neutral.
Got the handbrake on.
Handbrake on is down here, so it's a bit of an awkward seating position, isn't it, for the driver? Can you slide it? Yeah, you can slide it like that. Okay, and the steering wheel is right up on the dashboard.
Very close, the steering wheel.
That goes down all the way to the floor. Okay, so into first gear. Watch that clutch, okay. Bites at the very early stages. This is unusual already. The clutch has such a small range of travel.
Yes.
Okay. Pull away. Yeah. What is this? I think that's pretty much everyone's response is, what is this? And then the throttle pedal needs you to be very firm with it. Completely different. And then up into second gear. Wow, driving an LM002. Thank you, John, this is awesome. Into third gear, okay. Take it easy, take it gently.
I think this is something everyone has to do once in their life.
Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, the two drives out we've had together, straight pipe Ferrari Enzo, and then LM002, completely different driving experience. Yes, just as we go past people there, I noticed they're like, what is that? What is that car that you're driving? Right, second gear is there. Let's not get that wrong. There's a lot to have to learn and get right with this, but
we'll probably just you take the left here.
Yeah.
You head back to Biscayne. We'll take a right.
Cool. I'm just driving it super gently because I know, you know, this is a valuable, very special car. Roll easily, roll gently. Part of me is like, well, let's go find some sand dunes or something mad. I mean, nowhere near here.
You know what? The next one that's coming in was the former Dakar rally car.
Really?
Which will be prepped, ready to go off-road. So the next time you're here, you've got to take that one for a spin. And maybe we'll be able to find some sand dunes or something.
Go through the swamps of Alligator Alley.
Exactly.
Wow. This is cool because it's so different. It's such a different driving experience. So carefully does it, don't want to stall. Okay.
Well, I don't think there was anything like this for so many years. I mean, now the luxury, you know, SUV craze.
Yeah,
it's completely different. But you know, I don't think there's ever been anything like this until maybe, you know, the mid '90s or late '90s.
Lamborghini were the forerunners, and without this, we wouldn't have the Urus.
No.
This is really the start of much of that process. It just feels like a tank. It genuinely feels like driving something bulletproof. Just looking out over the bonnet, over the hood, the way you've got these bulges housing the engine underneath, it just feels like, yeah, something really hardcore.
Yeah, it's so plush and
yes, so plush. Do you know what it reminds me of? From a quite similar era, actually, is driving the CLK GTR. And the reason I say that, even though it's a completely different car, is because that's not a car also that you expect to have a plush interior. You know, built as well.
Wow, so interesting, yes.
A racing purpose rather than a rugged off-road purpose.
Yes.
But a completely, massively more impressive interior than you think a car like that is going to have. One of the things that I know about this, though, is that it is not the most fuel-efficient car in the world, is it? It's like a 45-gallon tank, 170 litres or something like that.
Probably gets 6 miles to the gallon.
It wasn't built with modern day economy in mind, we could say.
You had to be a Saudi sheik with an oil with an oil company to own this.
And the scary thing is that even with such a massive tank, you probably don't get all that far on a full tank the range anyway.
No.
But yeah, this has been a really, really cool thing to just experience for a short run around the block. Like I say, I've never driven an LM002 and I feel like I've been missing out a little bit just because it's such an iconic car, right? If you're into cars, especially if you're into Lamborghinis, there has never been anything like this, and there probably never will be another of this type of thing. Why would there be? Well, we're back at base, and I tell you what, it's going to be strange getting back into the GT500 after driving in this. But let's pull on up then. I have no idea where the right-hand side of this thing is, how wide it is.
Perfect.
Wow, okay, so park brake all the way back down here, pull that on, and just turn the key.
Yep.
And there we go. Awesome. That was really cool. That was different. Just a different experience. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I'm not gonna lie, it is boiling hot and humid here in Miami. It always is, but what an unusual thing. The Lamborghini LM002, as I said, the 5.2 litre naturally aspirated V12, but all the details, and especially learning a little bit as well about the LM American, the specific version for over here in the US with those changes. And now that John's pointed some of them out and I've been looking at it in a little bit more detail, starting to see more of those actually around the car itself as well. I'm just gonna come through and take a quick look in the rear, what it's like actually back here. It's not huge. We've obviously got a car cover, we've got the bright red of the leather. This is just such an unusual and unique thing, something that I personally haven't been able to see many videos of, so to have actually been able to drive it today is really, really very, very exciting. Honestly, the Lamborghini that I think stands out for being so different. And that's always been the way with Lambos, to make cars that are not your norm, that are not the usual traditional things, and that's always been a big part of the history. And the LM002 is obviously the forerunner to what we now see with sporty SUVs with big engines, the likes of the Lamborghini Urus as well. Today though, a huge thanks to John for the opportunity to head out with the LM002, even if it's just a couple of kilometers or miles around the block, to get a small sense for what this is actually like. Just imagine going through some serious rugged off-roading terrain as it was originally intended. That would be epic. For now though, thank you very much for watching, guys. Do check out John's channel, the We Are Curated channel, to see more of what they're getting up to and more of the cars as well that they're working on in the workshop, including the F50 that we saw last time, which is now nearing completion. That's it for this time though. Thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.